Hi, my name's Georgette and I've been asked to do a review by AO.com of the Zanussi ZFC620WAP chest freezer. This freestanding fridge freezer comes in white as standard. It has an A+ energy rating and takes 140 litres. The freezer comes with 1-year warranty as standard, but it can be upgraded to 3-year warranty with Zanussi, and the noise level is 42 decibels, so it's fairly quiet. The energy consumption is 200 kilowatt hours per year, and according to AO.com, this equates to an annual energy bill of £29. We're just finishing unpacking the Zanussi chest freezer now, so I'll show you around the freezer itself. It's got plastic protective coatings on either side of the chest freezer and on the front. The lid you'll see is hinged at the back, and once it lifts up it's got a counterbalance in it, which means it won't fall on top of your head once you've lifted it upright. Inside the chest freezer itself you'll see there's more packaging on the rim, which is easily removed. And inside the freezer you'll find the one basket that it comes with. According to the manufacturer's instructions, you should wash out the chest freezer on arrival with a damp sponge and a bit of warm water, just to get rid of any plasticky residue or manufacturer's residue inside the machine before you use it. Now that the chest freezer is ready to go, all we need to do is plug it in. The main problem we found with this chest freezer though is that it's got a really short power cable. As you can see, it's only about 1.5 meters or so long, and it's not long enough to plug into our socket. So for now, I'm just going to use an extension cord just to show you how the machine works. The machine's now been turned on and you should be able to hear the noise it's making. It's pretty quiet, so you could live quite happily with it in a kitchen. The chest freezer comes with a handy control panel in the bottom right hand corner. When you look at the control panel, there are 2 lights visible on it. The first one is the pilot light to show that it's been plugged in and the electricity is going to it. The second one is a high temperature alarm. As we've only just plugged in the unit, this would obviously be on, but this should go off once the fridge freezer has reached temperature. When you first turn it on, it says in the instructions that you should turn the temperature control all the way to maximum, which is number 6, using a coin. And then leave it on for 24 hours before putting any food inside it. Now that the freezer is switched on, we'll put the basket inside it. Once you lift up the lid, the first thing you'll notice is the interior light. It's only got one, but it's bright enough for what you need. The basket itself has swivel handles, and once put in the right position, you'll be able to put the basket anywhere you want along the inside rim of the freezer. The one thing I would mention about this basket is it doesn't fit particularly well. It seems to be a little bit big for the freezer itself. Now that the freezer's been on for 24 hours, we're going to have a look inside the freezer to see how good it's been at storing food. One thing we have noticed is that AO.com stated that it comes with an ice cube tray, but none came with ours. So once we open up the freezer, you'll see that we've put a very small amount of food in just to test out that it's working okay. It does say in the instructions not to overload it with food to begin with, but to add it slowly. So you'll see in the basket itself, if it's quite a lot of food, we've only put some small things in like ice cream that you might want to fit in, and tubs like that fit in really well. Pre-packaged food, for example, meat, doesn't fit in sideways very easily, so it might be a little bit restrictive in terms of what you can put in the basket. In terms of the bottom part of the freezer itself, you'll see that we've tried to put some pizzas in here. These will fit fine if you stack them upright, but if you tried to lay them flat, you'll see that they're too big to fit in. So again, that might be a little bit restrictive. In terms of maintenance of the chest freezer, it comes with a power failure safe storage mode. This means that if your electricity does go, the freezer will keep its contents cool for at least another 25 hours. If you were to defrost the freezer, because this is not a frost-free freezer, you'd have to open it up, obviously turning it off beforehand, which we haven't done. Take all of the food out, leave the lid open like this, and in the bottom corner you'll notice that there's a stop plug. You need to remove this in order for the freezer to defrost itself, and you can catch the liquid that comes out outside the freezer. We're now going to tell you the pros and cons of the chest freezer. So Phoenix here is going to tell you the pros. Firstly, the lid is counterbalanced, which means it won't bump you on the head. Secondly, it has a power safe mode of 25 hours. Thirdly, it's got a temperature warning light, just in case the temperature in it goes too high. Fourthly, it's got a nice interior light inside it. Fifthly, it's very low in terms of the amount of noise, so it won't disturb you at night. And it's also a really good compact size, although Phoenix does think it could fit quite a lot of bones in, so she's quite excited about that part. Now I'm going to tell you about the cons of the freezer, which Ozzy is going to talk to you about. Firstly, there's no open door alert, so if you leave the lid of the freezer open, it won't tell you you've done this. Secondly, it's not a frost-free freezer, which does mean you'll have to defrost it every now and again. Thirdly, although it said on AO.com that there was an ice cube tray that came with it, we didn't find one. Next, there's no lock on the lid, so if the dogs wanted to get in there, because their treats are stored in there, technically they could. It could also be bigger in size, but I suppose for anybody wanting a small chest freezer, it's pretty compact. Lastly, the power cable, as we said before, is quite short, so you might need to use an extension cord in order to plug it in. Ozzy's also a little bit disappointed that it didn't come with any free bones. So what do you two think of the chest freezer? 5 out of 5? Overall, we think the Zanussi chest freezer is a really good buy. Thank you very much AO.com for giving us the opportunity to review this fridge freezer. The dogs both love it, and I think it's great too.